Okay. Trying to make sure things look good here. YouTube looks good. I think Twitch is looking good as well. Trying to make sure I've got everything set up how it's supposed to. Okay. Gotta run up and check on MiniShini real quick and make sure she's able to view. Okay. Just trying to make sure everything was ready. Let's see. The chair of chairs. That's right. It was chair stream there for a little bit. Okay. According to the poll, Swordswoman number 2 won the poll. So, this gal right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in. She won the poll to get painted tonight. I think she's going to be pretty fun with the cape. That's a pretty nifty cape. She's also got what looks like kind of a long trench coat underneath. Though you really can't see too much of it. You can kind of see a little bit of like the under edge of it right there. And you can kind of see like the collar sticking out right here and some there. But yeah, I think she's going to be fun. She also has some plate armor, it looks like, maybe on her legs, like on her knees here. some cool maybe gauntlets and shoulder pads. So yeah, she's got some interesting armor. She's got like some fur around the neck of her cape here. MiniShini is watching me. Well, that's exciting. So yeah, I think she's gonna be fun. This was the runner-up model. There's quite a bit of a difference in size between these two. This one I primed and then did like a zenithal with kind of a light brown. I think that was fur brown that I used for the lighter color. Whereas this one is just primed in black. But yeah, this was the runner-up, so we'll have to paint her soon. It is warrior girl. I am noticing that my YouTube chat add-on thing isn't working again. So that's lovely. Do I have a different... Hold on, I'm going to see if I have a different, like, chat thing I could throw up here, maybe. Ooh, this might work. Want it to be set to live chat so I can see all of it. Wish I could make that just slightly taller. I guess I could just kind of pop it out like this. That might work. Okay, okay. I think I've got a fix for this. Name her Warrior. I just got in trouble for my finger getting in his way of watching Daddy. I love it. She might have had an ad while I was saying that. Oh, and here is our Space Marine that we painted last week. Or I should say we finished painting last week. I was really, really happy with how this guy turned out. He was a lot of fun. He had a lot of good details. I really need to see... I don't know if I have any Salamanders decals. I need to see if I have any of those. But I'm going to go ahead and set him aside for now. Trying to pull out some of my like standard decal sheets, and I believe most of these are going to be like ultramarine. I really like watching you paint the Space Marine. Well, thank you. These ultramarines, Dark Angels, Blood Angels. So they're not all ultramarines. I have a few other ones. I figured you meant paint. I have a whole ton of Black Templar transfer sheets. Like lots and lots of them. I bought some extra ones a while back. I also have just tons of like transfer sheets in general. So I don't think I have any that are, let's see, this is Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't think I have any that are for like the Salamanders. It would be really cool, but oh, actually I do. There's the dragon. It's really hard to see because it's in white on this really light colored thing, but there is a salamander dragon head. So I could use this transfer sheet and put one of those on that Space Marine. That would be really cool. I wondered if I had any because I've kept tons and tons of them from all the different packs I've gotten over the years of different, like so many of them are ultramarines. That's like the most common. Like these are all ultramarines. Ultramarines, Ultramarines. Just, oh, those are Adeptus Mechanicus, Adeptus Mechanicus, and back to Ultramarines again. So yeah, let me clean up this mess I just got out of here real quick. Put these back, but that'll be exciting to be able to put some transfers. Put some transfers on the minis next time. Okay, let's get my wet palette out. That's right, now I can paint. And be in paint, apparently, that's right. I was just showing off. Also, welcome, Anthony Swisher 8682. I had to double check, but yeah, I was just showing off the guy we painted last week and finished off. I was really happy with him. It was a lot of fun. I feel like we got some really vibrant colors. Like this orange on here is nice. I really like the tentacle things down here. I love the alien armor plating he's got. Like, I don't know, it just I like the vibrant colors. I think that worked out really well. Also though, what I was excited about is I pulled out some of my old transfer sheets, and it's really hard to see, but right here there are some salamander dragon head decals. There's only 5 of them, which kind of sucks because I actually have 6 different guys that I was hoping to put transfer sheets on, or transfers on, so unless I can find some more, I'm out of them. But yeah, this will be really neat because he's technically supposed to have one of those decals on that shoulder pad right there, but again, it's really hard to see because it's like white on this really light blue. I mean, obviously, like, you can see, you know, like the black cross here or this red and yellow white scar symbol, but the salamander logo, it's like right above my finger. It's just it's white against this. It's such a light color. Like, you can probably kind of see some of these up here when I hold it. Maybe if I hold it in the shadow a little bit, man, even then it's just, it's so hard to see. But anyways, those are there. That'll be kind of cool. But I can take those water slide decals and apply it onto here, onto a shoulder pad, and I see like super pale spot, but it doesn't trigger anything in my brain. That's fair. That's fair. It's like a sideways dragon head, like kind of like the mouth is kind of open and it's going across to the left side. I'm mega shitty because I'm #1. How are you already #1? Like, you just got here and you stole the #1 spot. Oh man, I really used my wet palette last time. I'm gonna have to grab a new sheet. It knows. So luckily we can just pull this part off, crumple that up, get rid of it. It's done. Now we have a very dirty wet palette. This is more of like a damp palette right now. I need to add some more water. Luckily, actually let's just zoom out to the other screen. Oh, you still can't really see the wet palette, but luckily I have one of these little squirt bottles. This is actually the thing that Shane was telling you needed for Jess's liquid cooling thing. This one of these is really nice because you can just squeeze it and it squirts water out. But I use it to put water in my wet palette. Probably a little bit more. Basically, I just want to make sure that this is nice and damp. Oh yeah, you do need to call them. See if they've got the parts. I mean, they might not. I'm pretty sure that's the part you need to. It's just, it was weird that there's like no option to purchase on that page that you were at. And maybe they're out of stock or something, but it's weird that it doesn't just say like out of stock. It just, like, the buy button just scrolled down to the bottom of the page. Alright, so grab a new sheet. Okay, so I already talked about her a little bit. Wonder if they're open now. They could be. I mean, I don't know what their support's like. Let's switch over to double zoom. Okay. So this swordswoman won the vote. And Peter Tatam, hopefully I pronounced that right. Welcome. Welcome. We were just kind of getting started here. I just got my wet palette out and grabbed the mini to kind of go over. We had a vote earlier, and this mini won with about 70% of the vote. And this other one lost with like 23% to 77%, something like that. I gotta say, this one here with the flowy cape, I really like this flowing cape. And it's a very dynamic pose. I love the jumping off the rock pose. I'm excited for this one. I'm not sure what colors I want to paint her yet. I wonder, the cape has a little bit of like texture to it. I don't know how well it shows up because it's such a dark black on the camera. But it's got kind of like almost like a crosshatch texture pattern that looks really nice. But I wonder if the cape would look good in like a nice, like a deep red. Like, I feel like that would really stand out on the battlefield. She has very little skin showing, which is fine. It's mostly just her face up here. Oh, sorry, I'm holding her just a little bit high. But yeah, her face. She's wearing some cool looking armored gauntlets. She's got some cool armored leg armor here. But again, since it's so dark, it's really hard to like show off parts of the model. Like, I can see it because I think from the angle I'm looking at and from the light, like the light is reflecting really well for me, but I don't think it shows up on the camera super well. So I really want to get some color on here. I think first thing I'm going to do is start laying down my very first base layer on her face. And just kind of work my way out from there. So we're going to start with a dark color and build up into some lighter highlights and stuff. So I often start with a darker color like this, either the basilisk red or maybe the mold berry. Both of these are pretty good for shadowing the face. I think I'll do the mold berry. So let's shake this up. Choice because she's not a basilisk. She might not be a berry either. Unless you aren't telling us everything. Just need tiny amount of this. And when I say tiny, like here's my little drop that I put on here. And even that might be more than I actually need. It's just hard to get less than that. All right. Let's get a little bit of color on here. Well, at least her face will stand out. Let's get down to business. It's kind of hard to tell, I think. Like, I know, like, under her chin is obviously going to be skin tone, but I can't tell if her neck is showing, or it looks like that might be the collar of her shirt, or maybe armor underneath. I hear, I believe, the MiniShini, as Shinny Wifey called him a little bit ago. I believe I hear him crying right now. I heard footsteps, so I think she was walking around. We defeat the Huns. And honestly, that might be all I need of that mold berry. And it doesn't look like much yet, but at least her face has some color. So her chest armor, I don't know if this shows up hardly at all on the camera. Like, I've got a glare on my screen right where the miniature's at, so I can't actually tell how much of this is showing up. But her chest kind of looks like what it would be, maybe leather armor. It looks like it's kind of flexed a little bit with her bending, and granted that could just be, you know, how the modeler designed it, but, you know, usually plate armor wouldn't flex at all, and leather has a little bit of give. So I could see that being leather armor, maybe. I was waiting for someone to carry that on. Nobody was going to carry it on. She's got a little leather pouch here. Man. I mean, I could do like a dark brown for that, and then maybe a lighter brown for her pouch, so that it stands out from the... Yeah, let's try that. So we'll start with some oak brown for some of the darkest leather areas. Get a little bit of that on the wet palette. Anthony Swisher 8682, are you playing games tonight? Or are you trying to fix Jess's computer? Oh, they're closed? Dang. I wondered this late at night. Like, I know some places are big enough they've got like 24/7 support, but I didn't know if they were that big of a company. Yeah, I get that. I had to make some calls to like the doctor recently, and that's not always easy when you're in the office. Never painted miniatures. I bought the Perry Miniatures travel battle game. It's taking me 2 weeks to paint. Then I need all the tips I can get on painting. That is fair. That is fair. I've not heard of that. Perry Miniatures. Travel battle game. I might have to look that up. One tip I will give right off the bat is getting paints that are designed for miniatures. They are more expensive, but they are way easier to paint with than trying to paint with like the like $2 craft paints that you get at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever. The pigments in these paints, that are designed for miniatures, are much smaller, so it's way easier to like water them down and oops, sorry, hold them too low, and thin it down. Or Clover Cape or whatever should be the color cyan. You know what? Cyan might actually work pretty well for that. I was thinking red originally, but cyan does sound pretty fun. Little army dudes. Is that what the Perry miniatures are? Yeah, like her belt and everything just kind of ended up being brown right here. I don't know if I like that. I like having like different colors for things sometimes, but that's not always possible. I only have so many browns. Oh, nice. Okay. Another thing is a lot of brushes for miniature painting. You don't need to buy any expensive brushes, especially if you're new to the hobby. I honestly recommend buying a cheap pack of brushes when you're first starting, especially. Don't go crazy and, you know, buy like $30 brushes or anything. You can buy a pack of like synthetic brushes at, again, Hobby Lobby or Michael's or whatever for like $5 to $10 and get like 10 brushes in them. Or rainforest green, it keeps on going away with me. I think the rainforest green would be too bright, but I do think a cyan or a teal of some kind would actually look pretty good for her cape. I think it would still be nice and bright, and like I think having the cape be like a big bright focal point would be nice. I like the idea of that. But yeah, brushes, you don't want... Getting a set like that also lets you kind of experiment with different sizes. Because like this... Actually, don't even... This is one of Army Painter's brushes. They call it the Wargamer Regiment. This is probably... This is an AK Interactive brush, and it's a size 2, and it is pretty close to the same size. The Army Painter one is maybe a little bit thinner. But like this one, the AK Interactive, this is like a $5 brush, and I want to say this Army Painter one, I got it in a set. Like it came with other stuff, but I think this brush alone is like $8 to $10 or something like that. So I wouldn't recommend going crazy and getting expensive brushes. I have a lot of cheap brushes. Like this guy, this is a size 5. It's a larger brush. As you can see, comparatively, it's significantly larger. But this is one of my favorite brushes, and this came in a set of like 10 other brushes for $5 or $6. Like I still use it. I highly recommend starting off with some really, really cheap brushes so you can kind of learn what size brush you like. because you might discover, oh man, I really like size 3 or I really like size 2. But a lot of people think they need like a size 0 or smaller to paint miniatures. And I get it, you know, miniatures are small. You think you need a tiny brush to paint miniatures. I pretty much never use a brush that small. Your screen is glitched 8 times. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I have way too many of these that are like the army painter ones. I don't like that they don't have the size listed, because this one just says insane detail, and it is an itty bitty brush. This is probably like a size 0 or size 00 or something like that. This is it compared to that size probably 2 or so that I was just using. Like, this is a tiny one. I pretty much only use this tiny one for like if I'm painting eyeballs or something. It doesn't hold enough paint for anything else. Alright, we've got some of her leather painted here. She's got a lot of, she's got a lot of fur around the top of the jacket. YouTube keeps lagging. I'm sorry. I hope it's not the stream that's lagging. It's showing good on my end, but I don't really have any way to guarantee that. So I'm sorry if it's lagging on your end. Which, by the way, the Shini Wifey on YouTube is actually my daughter. The actual Shini Wifey was using Twitch earlier in the chat, but she is currently getting Shini Baby 2.0 into bed. And he was making a lot of noise earlier, so I'm not sure how well that's going. So she's got this like, so she's got like the leather armor here, right? And then she's got this like trench coat thing, and I'm not really sure what color I want to. You don't think it's the stream? Okay. I'm not sure what color I want to paint that, because if I just painted this brown, like I don't want her to just be like only wearing brown, but at the same time, if it's like a leather jacket of some kind or like a trench coat, like it makes sense for it to also be brown. I think it's YouTube or the laptop. It could be. Okay. Well, we'll start working on the cape a little bit. Gonna start with. I don't really have any that are labeled cyan. I have like a turquoise one here, and I have some teals. I think I'm gonna go with some teals, and we can work our way up. What's this one? Yeah, oh, sorry. We've got a whole set of teals, so we can work our way up from darker to lighter. So I think that'll work. Temple Gate, we will start with Temple Gate, but we're going to work our way up so we have some good highlights. Yeah, of course, Peter. I'm trying to think of things like as I'm painting. I'll try my best to think of other things as well. Oh, definitely shake your paints super well. As just like shake the crap out of them. I picked up a tiny, I paint a lot, if you can't tell by my streaming and stuff, but I picked up this little paint shaker thing on Amazon for like think it was like 16, 17 bucks, something like that on sale. These things are amazing. It's not plugged in at the moment. I unplugged it so I could show it to you, but you basically just push the paint. It kind of clicks in the top here. You just kind of push down and it vibrates the paint really, really fast. These things are amazing. Let's see. I do have some videos that would help. I have a lot of beginner videos if you want to check those out as well, Peter. I have a lot of stuff that's kind of aimed towards beginners. Thank you for reminding me of that, Anthony, because I don't always, I'm not good at like promoting my own stuff. I'm terrible at it. Oh, you live in Australia. That's awesome. Reaching all the way around the world. Is it morning there? It's like 9:30 p.m. here, so I'm guessing it's like maybe noon. I don't remember if you guys are ahead of us, I believe. Maybe like noon tomorrow, based on, because like it's still the 25th here. I don't think I've used this color yet. Okay, so I'm trying to squeeze out some paint and nothing is coming out of the nozzle yet. I don't want to squeeze it too hard. So here's kind of a mini tip. There's a very good chance that some of the paint, these bottles kind of, you were on since the stream started. You have been on since the stream started. There's a good chance that it's kind of like clogged up in here. But it looks like the paint inside is fine. I was just double checking to make sure that it's not gonna explode out everywhere. So a lot of times what I do is take a paper clip and just kind of shove it through there, and I got some kind of gunky paint out. So there may have been a little tiny bit of dried paint right here in the nozzle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid back on and shake that up some more. Oh, also, Peter, I don't know what paint brands are easy for you to get in Australia. There's a very good chance you guys don't have like Hobby Lobbies and Michaels over there either. I was naming some stores that we have here in the US that are pretty common. They're like big chain stores. I don't know if you guys have anything like them or if you have either of those stores. They could be worldwide for all I know. But they usually have... Do I have any over here? Oh my god, hold on. I can reach over to my daughter's desk. So they have like these like cheap brand like craft paints. Don't get this stuff. Don't use this stuff on miniatures. You can, like, don't get me wrong, it's not impossible to paint with those kinds of paints. It's just much more difficult. Like, I've seen a lot of YouTubers do it as like a challenge, right? Like they're like, can you paint with craft paints? And the answer is yes, you can. It's just they don't thin down as easy, and you really want to thin down your paints before you paint. And I guess also, if you're brand new to miniature painting, thinning down your paints. These are all acrylic paints. Adding just a couple of drops of water to the paint thins it. It makes it a lot more wet, and it's a lot easier to spread the paint. 12 p.m. So right at noon then? That was a pretty good guess, I think. There we go. Now I'm able to get some paint out of here. I was worried that was going to be like super clogged up. But yeah, again, I don't know what brands you have available for paints, but Army Painter has these new War Paints Fanatic line. Don't get their old paint. If you see this kind of label, this Army Painter War Paints, don't buy this. This is the old Army Painter stuff. It was marginal at best paint. Some of the colors were okay. Some of the colors were pretty terrible. But their new stuff is pretty good. They went through a lot of work to rework their paint line. And their new stuff is pretty good. If you can get a hold of like Vallejo, they make some really good stuff. And I have a few of their paints. Their symbol is this thing down here. Kind of looks like an AV, but Vallejo brand. They make some good stuff. Wait, why do I have them then? They are good for bigger things, MiniShini. They are not so good for tiny, tiny things. So they work good for like some of the bigger stuff, like the 3D prints and stuff you were painting. In fact, I actually just bought some of those craft paints to paint some of my large 3D printed terrain stuff. So those paints are fine for big stuff, but for tiny, tiny things like miniatures, not so good. Cape is so big, I could probably use a much larger brush for this. Some people really like Citadel brand, which that is the brand made by Games Workshop, who is the company that makes Warhammer. And Citadel paints are good, but in a lot of cases they are kind of on the pricey side. And instead of coming in these like little dropper bottles, they come in like little weird paint pots that are really easy to spill. Tiffany Brooks interrupted your live stream. Who's Tiffany Brooks? Could use the purple paint on the bottom of the cloak. Ooh, like the underside? That would actually... I like that. That's a good idea. I'm hoping you guys can see like the texture in the cloak better now that it's got a little bit color on it. It has this like really cool... I don't know how to explain it. It's got like a grid pattern texture to it. I don't want to get this paint on too thick, or else it's going to fill in some of the details in that texture. Oh, good. I'm glad you can see it. And again, I probably could have used a much larger brush for this portion, and it would have gone a lot faster than what it has so far. I was just kind of being lazy and not switching brushes. Oh, another quick tip, Peter. Rinse your brush fairly often. They don't always show that in like tutorial videos and stuff. I probably don't show it enough in my videos either. But I rinse out my brush fairly often, because even if it looks like it's still going on pretty good, there's a very good chance you've got some, like, you're going to start getting dried up bits of paint kind of stuck, gunking up your brush. So I usually can go through a few rounds of painting something, and then I'll rinse it out and get fresh paint. But like, I'll paint a bit like I am right now, and then I will go back and get fresh paint, and then rinse the brush after a couple of rounds. Can I put on my favorite song on the stream? Yeah, give me a second. We'll do that. I like that color. That was a nice color. Okay, let me rinse out the brush real quick, and I will change the song for you. Once I find it. It'll take me a second to actually locate it. This playlist is actually pretty long. Here we go. This one is called Ambient Gold, and is one of my favorite songs that Harris Heller put out for his Streambeats. What color should her hair be? Orange hair. Right as I'm asking for that orange hair for Warrior Girl. You know what? Let's do it. We'll make her a redhead. Okay, so let's paint. We're gonna paint the fur on the back of her cloak first. It's got a little bit of skeleton bone. We're gonna work our way up. We're painting random details here. We're kind of just blocking in the colors first. Okay. There's a couple of places where it's kind of hard to tell where, like, her hair begins and the fur, or her hair ends and the fur begins. It kind of all clumps up here in a few areas. Probably should have started with an even darker. I think this will be fine. Lagging so much. I'm sorry. You want the warrior to be colorful? She is going to end up being pretty colorful, I believe. Oh, I did ask who that was. You mentioned that you got interrupted by Tiffany Brooks, and I was like, who is Tiffany Brooks? I don't think I've ever heard of that person. And Shane's helping with computer parts. Good, good, good. Honestly, with like the liquid cooling stuff, he knows a lot more than I do. Just he's had a lot more experience with it because he has built a few of those custom loops. I've done some research because I've wanted to do it. I've just never actually done it. The commercial, and she said that was her name, and I said, skip. That's fair. That's fair. Dang, this like temple guard, whatever, temple guard teal, that looks so good just like that. Like there's like so many like bright highlight spots, and like that cloak looks really cool. I know, right? The light reflection is insane. Like, and it's probably still like just a little bit damp in places, so that's probably helping with that, but man, it looks cool. It's a nice color. She's got a little bit of armor. I'm jumping around a lot. Okay, hold on. Let's do... Start working up on her skin tones. I've tied the next one I want, and then barbarian flesh. It's a ruddy brown and a rose skin tone. Her skin started as mold berry. Why do I feel like I have another? Oh, I do have Dorado skin. It's a deep skin tone. It's very bright. They both say skin, but I don't think they're from the same like category. I'm gonna make some Minecraft minis. That would actually be kind of cool. I don't have any yet, but that could be a fun one to do. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with this buffed hide. Barbarian flesh. Barbarians are pink. It's canon. Jot that down. Welcome, Garrick. Welcome. It would be kind of fun to paint an ender dragon. Enter dragon and enter the dungeon dragon. I think some of the Minecraft mobs, just because they've got like the pixelated like 16-bit color palette, I think that would actually be kind of hard to paint. This miniature has very, very little skin showing. But we need to add some highlights. I want to leave some of the darker colors in the recessed areas, but not too much of it. Like this color, we want this to be like her main skin color. What's this guy's name? This is a girl, Garrick. And my daughter wants her to be named just Warrior. Just straight up just Warrior. Which I don't know if I'm very fond of that name. What's this gal's name? Pokemon, Miraidon, my favorite Charizard, Necrozma. Swift is a coursing river. It's a solid name. All right, maybe they will just be named Warrior. Kind of feels like I'm doing like I don't know, like really harsh like comic book lines here. Color looks decent at the moment. I don't know if we'll add more highlights or not to that. That's a decent skin tone. Barbarian Flesh looks brighter than Buffed Hide. Like next to each other, but I don't know. It's not that much. Well, I don't know, it kind of is. But if I do another highlight layer, it'll be that, and it'll just be like a tiny amount, like on like the very tops of her cheekbones, a little bit on her nose, maybe some on her forehead, and that would be about it. We are gonna paint her hair like super. We're gonna start with like red and then work our way up. We're gonna do a lot of layers of red, I think. Let's start darker. Let's start with Basilisk Red. Deoxys. Arceus and Rayquaza. She wants a lot of Pokemon. MiniShini wants me to paint a lot of Pokemon. And she also wanted me to paint Minecraft characters. Tony, offset yourself for having a watch party. Nice! I like how you called Tony by his non-government name, and then Offset gets his code name. I guess you weren't here whenever I was calling him by his real name earlier. But Tony already let me know that Shane was helping with like the liquid cooling stuff. Tony's YouTube name is Tony. Love it. Love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, so we're gonna start with this nice dark. It looks kind of pink, but it should, once it starts drying, it should get significantly darker. I think there's some on her shoulder here. I think that's supposed to be fur too, not hair. Paint Binks. Paint Binks, paint Binks. I'll paint the actual cat. Which, by the way, MiniShini has been picking pretty much all the colors so far. You did say orange hair. We're going to work our way up to it. We're going to start with this dark red, and we're going to work our way up into orange, and even have a little bit of some potentially bright yellow highlights. I want to kind of make it look like fire. It does look like pink. I will give you that. It is supposed to be dark basilisk red, but it looks pink. I was expecting this to be darker. Don't worry, we will. More colors are going to go on top of this, I promise. And I think as it dries, it will get a little darker. Is a tiny bit of hair right in here. Like, okay, so on this side here, like this is still looks a little pink where it's wet in places, but it is getting darker. Wait, paint toothless in the light fury and the night lights. I bought that Vallejo basic starter case and Vallejo model color set. Nice, nice. Yeah, Vallejo, they make some really good paints. Hopefully they weren't too expensive in Australia for you there, Peter. I don't know which paints are, you know, the most affordable in your area, but Vallejo does make some really, really good paints. I've been using mostly Army Painter so far for this, but I have a large Army Painter set, so I have a ton of colors of Army Painter, and I only have, like you can see a few of my Vallejo paints over here. I only have like 10 or 12 Vallejo paints. That's all I have. I love the colors that I've used of Vallejo. They're just, most of my local stores don't really have very many Vallejo paints, so I've kind of slowly been building up with them. I would like to get some more though, because I do really like them. But you will have a much better time trying to paint those models you got with a decent paint than you would trying to paint them with cheap craft paints. Again, it would be possible with craft paints, but it might not be a very fun experience, especially for your first time painting minis. Like, I just think it's a better idea to start with decent quality stuff. I'm gonna grab Binks and squeeze her and make her press the like button and watch. Well, thank you, MiniShini. I appreciate that. It's like, Binks. Do it, Binks. Press that like button, Binks. Binks is our cat, by the way, for those of you who are unaware. And Shini Wifey that's chatting on YouTube is my daughter, who's very excited. She loves watching all the painting stuff. Okay. Let's... So there's some details on the armor that I want to pick out with some different colors later, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. She pressed it, now I'll make her watch. I love it. She's wearing... Sometimes it's hard to determine like what pieces I'm going to make what color, basically. I also don't like finishing one part completely and then moving on to the next, because if I make a mistake, it's much easier to fix it when it's only like blocked in versus like if I completely finished the cape and then I went to go paint like her hair or something and I accidentally got her hair color on the cape, which I also noticed I missed a spot on the cape that's kind of under her arm. So yeah, I'm trying to block in some of the colors here. I think I can get some gray and start blocking in some of the armor. We'll start with some deep gray. Someone texting me. Garrick, I love it. Garrick messaged me directly. I meant that account, the Shini Wifey account on YouTube, my daughter is using my wife's YouTube account because it won't let the child YouTube account comment on live streams. My wife is getting our son to bed, and there's a good chance that she fell asleep. But she was, my wife was working on getting him to bed. The 2-year-old. I don't believe you. Offset, welcome. You've probably been here for a bit, but still, good recovery. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I got your message, but I got a lot of other messages like around the same time, and my phone was just going crazy for a little bit, and I was like, what is happening? I'm assuming that this armor part here is like metal. But I mean, I guess this could have been leather too, for all I know. She's wearing like sabatons too. Like, it's interesting. She has like what looks to be fairly legit like leg armor on, but then most of her just isn't wearing armor. My cat a Gungan? Based on how my daughter said she talks, probably. I don't think my daughter knows what a Gungan is either. She has watched that movie, episode 1, but I don't know if she remembers much of it. You fell asleep. Whether you like it or not. It's Binks here, I took over. Are you trying to tell me that Binks is the one chatting? So I just don't believe that. Paws are too big. Alright, MiniShini. Binks needs to slow down on whatever she's doing. She's also got what looks to be maybe some sort of gauntlets. Or at least like bracers with like hand plates attached. I don't think they're like full closed gauntlets. Is Butterscotch up there in bed with you? MiniShini. Okay, good, good. And might as well paint the blade. Oh, Binks laid on the laptop? That sounds about right. Okay. I think the hair is dry enough. We can start working our way up. We're going to start with we're going to add some pure red on top of that basilisk red we added earlier. You squeezed her? Good. Binks deserves a good squeeze every once in a while. Okay. You're red. We're going to hit most of the hair. And especially the top of it. Wrestling now. Wrestling with the cat. By layering our way up through the reds, this is going to add a lot more depth to the red. And since a lot of her face, like, I mean, her face is visible, but it's such a small focal point of the miniature. I really want to add the hair as a big focal point. I think that will help quite a bit. That hair's stupid. I'm not going to argue with that. You're probably right. Gonna go ahead and paint her, like, duster jacket thing, whatever this is. I'm gonna paint it brown too. I don't really know how I'm gonna distinguish it from, like, her armor yet, but I don't know what other color to paint this. Use a thick cigar and a bowler hat. There's got to be a way to make money off of this. For those concerned, me and Shini have a mutual hate for each other. It's true. It's very mutual. But it's a long-lasting and deep-seated hatred. Miniature Graveyard is raiding with a party of 24. Welcome, Miniature Graveyard. How's everybody doing tonight? Also, Think Computers. I missed it about 10 minutes ago. He messaged, this is not Apex. He is right. This is definitely not Apex. Welcome, Miniature Graveyard. How are you guys doing tonight? I'm assuming you just finished up your stream. Thank you, thank you. Things are going pretty well. We're just kind of blocking in colors at the moment. Seeing how far I get. This is a 3D print that I got on my mini factory, and I cannot for the life of me remember what company I got it from. So I do apologize. I can get that information for anyone who is interested. But there was a sale going on a while back, and I think I bought the files for like $4 or $5 or something like that. Might have even been less than that. It was a good sale. My mini factory is wonderful. Definitely. I've gotten so much good stuff from there. Were you painting tonight? And if so, what were you painting? I kind of jump around between different things. As an example, you know, tonight we're painting this cool Swordswoman. Last week we were painting a Space Marine. This was the Space Marine we finished up last week. It was the first time I've done a Salamander. And the first time in quite a while I've done a Space Marine. I usually paint Black Templars, which are both simpler and more complicated, because black is kind of simple, but at the same time it's hard to make black look decent sometimes, if that makes sense. Thank you. I was really happy with the green on him. A lot of my color choices have been suggestions by my daughter. She makes paint color suggestions sometimes in the chat. She gets very excited. She's over on YouTube right now. I'm actually multi-streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. Let's see. I feel like her sleeves are going to be part of this like jacket thing, so they should probably be brown too. I feel like this is a lot of brown though. Like I determined that her chest armor should probably be leather because it looks like it's bending and maybe flexible. Then she's got leather belts, a leather pouch, and then this like leather jacket duster thing underneath the cape. It's a lot of brown. I feel like I need to switch to more variations of brown color. So if the one you're painting now was a dwarf, it would look like what I think my wife made her Pathfinder character look like. Like are you saying if this was a dwarf, like the one I'm painting right now? Offset? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay. Like the colors or like I guess the clothing choices? With like the duster and the cape and potentially leather armor all at the same time, I'm assuming. Just in general? Okay. That's fair. Sometimes I'm also trying to I'm picking colors and then I'm picking colors just to add colors, and sometimes that's not a good thing because new colors don't always add to the mini. Like sometimes it like muddies it up because it's like too many colors. I need to paint her pants some kind of color, and then we can probably start working on some highlights and stuff. So I painted, so far all the brown has been painted in this oak brown, which is a nice ruddy brown according to Army Painter. What other browns do I have? So I've got both onyx skin, which is a skin tone, and fur brown, which is a kind of middle ruddy brown. So I usually use that as highlights, especially for like if I'm using oak brown and fur brown together as like leather, like those usually work pretty well. Miniature Graveyard, thank you for following. I appreciate that. I feel like I see the notification in the chat, but I didn't get a pop-up, I don't think. I don't know if my alerts are working properly. I feel like I've got like certain things broken. I don't know what I'm doing. But I have those 3 browns. Do I have any other? I might have some GW. Oh, I have a Vallejo flat brown. Alerts are a bit spotty for me tonight as well. Yeah, I got the raid, which I was very excited about. Again, thank you for the raid. That was fantastic. I have this Vallejo flat brown that probably needs to be really shaken up based on all this yellow I'm seeing at the top. There's probably a ton of separation in here. I don't know if I've ever even used this color. So that's a different brown. I don't know how much different it's going to look. It does look like it has maybe a little bit more saturation to it than what the oak brown does. So that's a potential, I believe. Oh, hold on. I have some Citadel paints on my other rack that's sitting on the floor. If I could reach it. And you may ask, why is it sitting on the floor? And it's because I don't really have a lot of room on my desk. Do I have any browns? I have a, what is this? Sorry, this paint rack is starting to fall apart here. I have a Mournfang brown. That might be a different brown to play around with. This Bugman's Glow is kind of a light tan skin color brown, maybe. I believe that is all of my browns. So I don't have a ton of options for doing like brown leather. Let's see. I hate to raid and run, but I'm afraid I've got work in the morning and I'm exhausted. Have a wonderful rest of your stream. Thank you so much, Miniature Graveyard. I completely understand. I know after a long stream, especially of painting and then raiding, I completely get it. Have a good night, man. Thank you again so much for stopping by. Thank you for the raid. And I'll see you next time. Yeah, I really want to add some more like variation. Like this is a lot of similar color browns. I want to add something, but I'm not quite sure I'm not quite sure what I want to do there. Because I feel like this should be leather armor. Like that just feels right to me. But then her coat is like basically the exact same color. Maybe I could go with the onyx skin. Does that look... It's maybe slightly lighter. Honestly, these are very similar in shade. I don't know. I think I'll try the onyx skin. Maybe on her coat. Maybe. I don't know. Or should I try the Citadel? It's Mournfang brown. This is a very... It's a very different looking brown. Is this paint even still good? This is an old paint pot. Definitely needs to be shaken up. There's liquid in there. So let's give this a little bit of a shake. I'm also using a little vortex mixer over here. It's just out of frame, so I apologize. You can't really see it. I'd love to get another camera that's like a straight top-down view so that you could see some of what I'm doing, like when I'm not holding something in front of the camera. I think that would be neat. Can you hear the paint shaker? I wasn't sure how much of that came across on stream. All right, what do we got here? Well, that doesn't look too bad. Let's grab some of this. Not gonna lie, this color reminds me a little bit of, it's probably not coming across super well, but it reminds me a little bit of what I've seen in Dirty Diapers before. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna like this. Oh, when I was shaking it, you could hear the sound. Sorry, I'm telling you, it's kind of what this color reminds me of. Okay, it does look a little bit better like on the Mini than kind of globbed up on my wet palette, so that's probably a good thing. All in my quest to get some slightly different shades of brown. And we have a 2-year-old right now, so I do know what a dirty diaper looks like. Definitely is a different shade of brown, which is, you know, what I was going for, but it's, I don't know how this is going to look highlighted, but at least it looks different next to the other one. Prove it! Garrick, I don't want to prove it right now. The 2-year-old makes very stinky diapers. I also had considered moving the webcam because, like, right now it's like right in front of me, but when I'm holding up the Mini, I'm holding it like in front of my face. It would be bad for the stream. Don't prove it. Okay, I won't. I'll take your advice. So I've considered like moving that webcam to like an angle or something, just so, you know, you guys can see my pretty face easier. 'Cause that's why you're here, right? That's why everyone's here. They want to see my face. I'm sure that's it. Once the stream is finished, can you bring my Light Fury back up here? I forgot her down there when I was mesmerized by the Minecraft. Yes, I can see it over here on your desk. I will bring your Light Fury back up to you. That is something I can do. Okay, and Anthony Swisher is being very quiet. I think him and Garrick and Shane were all in a call together, so they might be having their own little chat. Yeah, see, Shiny Wifey could prove it, but she doesn't want to. I guess I need to He's computering his doctor. I'm doctoring computer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had a computer issue the other night, and they were going to get Shane's help. Think we just need to replace the pump, and I got it out all on my own without any help. Very nice. I do hope it is just the... Oh, and Necrotomb, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I missed that. I did see your comment a little bit ago where you were laughing at the baby diaper stuff, as one does. But yeah, I think my Twitch alerts are not working so well. I know Miniature Graveyard said his alerts were being kind of funky too. I don't know if like just alerts in general might be messed up tonight. But Shini Wifey is also on the case, and she noticed the follow and was able to call it out so that I could see it better. Oh, sorry. Was holding her a little bit high there. Okay. There's some leather straps kind of on her armor down here that I feel like need painting. And I still need to figure out... I don't know, MiniShini suggested a purple for like the undercoat of the cape. I see someone, okay, someone else followed. It is, I'm sorry, it is so tiny on my screen. Can I zoom this in? What does that say? IHAIHIW112. Thank you for the follow. Sorry. I had to zoom in my like notifications are not showing up properly for me. So I had to, luckily there's the overlay on the stream, but I had to zoom in so I could actually see that better. Okay, so let's see. I think there is a tiny bit more of this color that should be right there that I missed. It's just a name you randomly spelled out. Well, I tried to pronounce it for you. But no, you're good. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Oh, I guess I should also point out, I do make miniature painting videos over on YouTube as well, and I'm currently streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. So if you do have a preference, YouTube allows slightly higher quality. Chaotic369 followed as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh yeah, I did miss that one. I apologize. But yeah, I do stream on both. If you prefer one over the other, you know, stick with whichever one you like. But YouTube does allow a slightly higher quality to be streamed. So I do tend to stream at slightly higher qualities over there. Let's see. Let's do the pants in something maybe like this desert yellow, like a nice tan color. Like that one. I think that one would look good. But yeah, so I do stream on both. I make some videos over on YouTube. I try to make tutorials and stuff. So yeah, if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. I wish I had been smart and like made a cool little like bot command that would like send you my YouTube channel link, but I totally didn't think about that. I have some bot stuff set up. I just didn't think about that kind of thing. So yeah. I'm also really not very good at doing like self-promotion and stuff. I've always struggled with it. This is kind of like a mustard yellow. My brush is also not... There we go. It wasn't wanting to go back into a point very well. It's a bit more mustardy than I was expecting, honestly. Might have to add a wash or something to darken that back down just a hair. I got you. He's on the YouTube. Check it out. I appreciate that, NecroTube. That's good enough. The, I guess I should also point out the YouTube channel name is slightly different than my Twitch channel name. So I used to stream games on Twitch all the time. And then I kind of did like a mixed thing for a while where I would do like painting sometimes and then games sometimes. And, you know, a lot of those audiences don't really overlap. And then I realized I have way more fun doing the painting streams than I do any of the other streams. It's a lot, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to be kind of interactive with the painting streams. Like it's easier for me to kind of stop and check in with the chat and things. Whereas a lot of times in a gaming stream, sometimes things are just, I don't know, a bit too chaotic. But yeah, so for a little bit I did both. I kind of switched back and forth. And then I realized, you know what, I only really want to do painting streams. And on YouTube, I also ran into the problem that, you know, those audiences don't really overlap. And so it didn't make any sense to have like all my painting videos on my gaming channel. So I made a new channel. So my channel on YouTube is Shini's Tabletop Adventures. So that is the YouTube channel if you're interested in subscribing over there and checking out any of those. I mentioned Chaotic 369. Thank you MiniShini for calling it out. But I did see it when you called it out. And I appreciate Chaotic 369 for following. And I appreciate you for calling it out so that I don't miss it. It's like a little leather strap kind of going around her thigh right here, which I honestly feel like would be really uncomfortable. Got it on both thighs, like They basically look like little tourniquets to me. They're not quite tight enough for that, but... Oh, sorry. Keep holding her way too high. Okay. Underside of the cape still doesn't really have any color. MiniShini suggested purple, so let's start with a nice dark diabolic plum. I guess it's technically a magenta. Is this purple? I should also mention for the new viewers, I am colorblind, slightly. I have trouble seeing certain purples, so I think this is purple. I feel like plum should be purple. It's a dark magenta close to purple. Okay, good, good. That's good enough for me. It's purple. I was pretty sure it was purple, or at least purple-ish. It passes the sniff test. Good, good. This one is close to like the shade that I have difficulty with. Like there's certain shades, this one. It says oozing purple. This looks gray to me. And this is one of their old paints. I don't think I have this color in their new Warpaints Fanatic, but this looks gray. But it says purple, so I know it's not gray. But then if I hold it up next to a gray, I can tell that it's not gray. But it doesn't look purple to me. But I can clearly tell that it's not the same as a gray. When I'm looking at it by itself, it looks gray. Paint the rocky ground gray. We will. We will definitely paint the rocky ground gray. Let's get a little bit more water on my brush. Thin this down a bit. And we are going to work on this feels like a very bright purple. Bless Army Painter for just putting the color written out on bottles. Oh my gosh, yes. 100% agree. I think when they first made the team, like the new painter team for the Army Painter paints that has like Brent from Goobertown Hobbies and Dana Howell, all of them. I don't remember which one of them, if it was Brent or Dana, that like suggested like, hey, we should just write the colors, like you should have the color names on here, like this is a purple or whatever. And whoever suggested like the little charts for like color matching, oh my god, geniuses. I love them. It is pretty bright. I dig it, but you know my colors. That's fair, Garrick. That's fair. I do know your colors. I think this will when it dries, it'll be a little darker and maybe not quite as vibrant, especially because, you know, I'm painting it like directly on the black. But I do think this purple will be a good contrast to the outer teal color of the cape. Brush is taken by Anthony Swisher again. He does that a lot. I don't know how he keeps like stealing the #1 spot on YouTube. He's cheating somehow. yeah, having the colors just on there in the corner, like, I don't know, like on this oak brown. Like, I know it says brown, but then it says ruddy browns down here in this little chart. And then you can buy other ruddy browns. Like this fur brown is a brighter ruddy brown. And so you know that they're the same type of color and that you can use it as like a highlight color for the other one. It's so nice. I think a lot of this cape is also not going to be very visible at all. Like most of it's going to be like under the mini, so you're just not going to really see it, but you're going to see a little bit of that little strip right there on the front. And there's technically a little bit right over here that I got to get. Oh man, this is a kind of an awkward angle. Speaking of sniff test, your son walked in dog poo tonight. It was not the color brown you used earlier. He might have freaked out and tried to remove it with his hands. You missed me yelling at him to stop touching anything. I had to bring him in and wash his hands and feet. That is amazing. That sounds like my son. 100%. It's mine, MiniShini. Sorry, I just saw that. That's fantastic. I don't know how he keeps the #1 crown. Okay, now MiniShini wanted orange hair, not red hair. We have very red hair at the moment. Let's start working our way up to orange. So last color I used was pure red. I don't believe I have any in the middle colors for these, but I kind of want her hair to look like fire. So we're going to do lava orange, and then we're going to keep working our way up from there into some yellows. And I hope it'll look cool. I also still need to do some highlights on the cape, because now that the cape is dried, like, it looks really good. I really like this color. This is a really cool, this is Temple Gate Teal. I like that color a lot, but I do want to add some more highlights in there. This is just one coat of that straight over the black, but like the light highlights, like the highlights from the actual light, are doing a lot of work here. Like this looks really cool. I like that color a lot. But let's add a little bit to his hair. His hair, her hair. My gosh. That doesn't go there. I'm getting the wrong colors in the wrong spots. Okay. So we definitely want orange up here on the top. But we also want lots of red showing through in certain places. I gotta say this, hey! Shini Wifey 6413 is an adventure recruit. MiniShini, what did you click? I have a feeling that she just spent money on her mother's account. positive, but I'm pretty sure that's what she just did. It's Shini Mom. It wasn't MiniShini. Okay, okay. Well, I think you get ad-free viewing now. So there's that. So thank you very much, Shini Mom, which is the real Shini wifey, not... This is getting complicated. I think I just need to make MiniShini another account that's like not a child account that she only uses for watching the streams. She really enjoys watching the streams. She loves just hanging out with everyone and watching me paint, which is also really exciting for me. I really enjoy that she is enjoying it as much as she does. That makes me happy. All right. This is a really... This orange is really nice. It has really good coverage, which is something a lot of oranges struggle with. Trying to figure out if we can buy our way into the #1 spot, low-key. I was pretty sure that's what Anthony Swisher had done. Man, I like that orange a lot right there. That looks cool. And I think the orange works really good with this turquoise color as well. I might go one more shade brighter on that, but I think I want to let that dry first. So I like that quite a bit. That did not keep us from seeing ads. Well, dang it. I thought that was one of the perks, so I'm sorry. I really thought no ads was a perk of being a member. Some light touch up on the cape where I got a little bit of purple where it didn't belong. Mini is back. Okay. I assume that means Shini Wifey is heading back to Twitch. And they're both sitting up in the bed. And Shini Wifey is probably on her phone on Twitch, and MiniShini is on the laptop on YouTube. Okay. So, Templegate Teal, Pharaoh Guard is the next teal up, but it's only one little jump. And then Aqua Alchemy is a huge jump, though. I don't know if I want to make the jump directly. I think I'll do Pharaoh Guard and then work my way up from there. You're still on Twitch. I figured that was the case. So let's work on the cape some more. And then we probably need to do some highlights on the leather so that that starts looking a little bit better. And I've got a feeling that this is not going to be a mini that I finish in one stream, as much as I would love to. It just doesn't feel like that's in the cards. Okay. So we're going to start on all these raised parts and brighten this up a bit. YouTube's lagging for her. That's what she was telling me earlier. And I wasn't sure what was going on. I didn't really have a good answer for her at the time. Everyone else that was on YouTube at that time said that it wasn't lagging for them. Highlight painting is very satisfying. Good. It's satisfying for me too. Some painters do like really smooth blends, and they do like really thin down layers and really smooth transitions. And I'm not one of those miniature painters. I am not at that skill level yet. I enjoy doing highlights and layering and everything, but I'm not yet at that level where I can do those crazy smooth transitions. So you get the level of transitions and highlights that I'm able to do. I do like that Twitch lets you know when an ad break is coming. That's a nice feature over there. Can I do the rocks next? Yeah, I can do the rocks next. I'm going to do just a little bit more of this shade of highlights, and while that's drying, we will start on the rocks. Apparently if I subscribe on Twitch, it's ad-free. I'll have to look at YouTube again. There's different levels. So I created 2 levels. There's like the adventure recruit, and then there's like just an adventurer. And I don't know what all the adventurer or the second tier gives you over the first. Man, that looks cool. Like, it's not done, but I like those shades. I like those colors. And I do think the purple was a really good undercoat. Like, you're not going to see a ton of it. I mean, like, I'm really tilting the mini here. You only get like a glimpse of it, and you get a little bit of it like from this front edge here. I like that. Wait, make it where she's in a weird world, another dimension where the rocks are green? Well, I mean, we might add some like green moss and stuff to them, but I think it makes sense for the rocks to at least start off gray. Though her armor's also gray. I don't know if I could make green rocks work. So I'm doing kind of a... not quite a dry brush, but kind of an interesting textured look on these rocks. I'm trying to leave a bunch of the black behind. A weird world or another dimension. Okay. We'll see what I can do. I think that's a decent start to this rock. It's not done yet. Some deep gray. We'll add a little bit of ash gray. No, another dimension. The highlight's kind of the same color. Same feeling as a good rain. Like sitting on the porch sipping coffee and nodding saying, yeah, we needed this. That's fair. I do enjoy highlights quite a bit. And it's just, I don't know. Highlights and layering are one of my favorite things to do with mini painting. I just really enjoy this process right here. Always fun to paint while watching another painter. Always feel like I get more done. Oh, very nice. What are you painting tonight, Necrotomb? It feels like a group effort sometimes, honestly. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the dimension is the slime dimension. I don't know. MiniShini, I don't know how easily I'm going to be able to turn this into a slime dimension. Kingdom Death survivor just finished his axe. Very nice. I haven't painted any Kingdom Death. I know they have some... I'm trying to think of the right way. They have some kind of grotesque minis. Like, some of their monsters are pretty, like, creepy looking. And then I know some of their heroes are, what's the right word to use here? Maybe scantily clad? I don't believe they're all like that, but I know some of them are. is a really good looking rock, I think. Like, if I do say so myself, I like this rock. One thing that they were boutique minis before they made the game, so yes, very pin-up like Survivor model. That's a good way to put it. Pin-up models. That's kind of what I was thinking. I've only seen some of them, and I believe some of them aren't necessarily super pin-up. But I knew at least some of them were. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they still have some really cool models. Let's add a little bit of highlights to the armor here. Just a tiny bit of... Oh, I got some yellow on the leg there earlier. I didn't even notice until just now. Yeah, I'm a psycho, so I own almost all game content. So much plastic, my god. That's fair. That's fair. I don't have a huge collection of, like, Warhammer. I probably would have had more, but I kind of stopped collecting 40k stuff. I kind of fell out of love with the game. Once I started playing other games and realizing I liked the rules for a lot of stuff better than how 40k did it. So I have quite a bit of like Star Wars Legion, which also, like, I didn't grow up with Warhammer. Like, some of my friends that first got me into minis, they really liked Warhammer, which is fine. But they grew up with it. They had basically had Warhammer as like a tabletop game and books and stuff since they were kids. But I didn't have that like attachment to it. So, but I did have that attachment to Star Wars. So I really got into Star Wars Legion. I own all the factions. I basically have like a full army for every faction. Not quite to the droids yet. I'm still working on droids. And Shini Wifey does feel like I have a huge collection of everything. I have a lot of 3D printed stuff, which doesn't help either. 3D printer really, it's great for the hobby, but it's also kind of a problem at times because you can 3D print so much stuff. And I love 3D printing. 3D printing is its own hobby, and this is a 3D printed model. But when you can print anything, you print everything. And I have just tons of stuff that is printed and just sitting on a shelf somewhere waiting to be painted because I have not had a chance to sit down and paint it yet. kind of the same. My boys and I were looking for D&D minis one day and thought Games Workshop was just a board game miniature shop, and then we came back and bought a starter set for 8th edition. See, 8th edition was right when I started. That was right whenever my buddies got me into miniatures. And I played for a while. I collected Black Templars. I collected a little bit of Adeptus Mechanicus and Space Marines. I got Black Templars. And I enjoyed it. I really like the models. The game feels overly complicated at times, and maybe that's just, you know, my brain maybe my brain's just wanting to shut down a bit to, you know, play a game and not have like super intricate rules sometimes. But I don't dislike the game. There's times where I'm even like, oh man, maybe I should play some 10th, or maybe I should wait till 11th comes out, whenever that's going to be. I played a few games of 10th when it first came out. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't really falling in love with it. Oh, can I show them some? I can. I have a few that are within reach. I also have the, I bought the starter set for the Halo, is it Flashpoint? I keep wanting to call it like Firefight or something, but that's not right. But I have the minis for the Halo set. This is the only one I've painted so far, but I really enjoy this game. I've only played a couple of matches of it, but I thought it was really fun. It really felt like Halo on the tabletop, which was neat. So this one's still kind of a work in progress, but I like that one. I've got some Star Wars stuff. What do I have within reach? I have a bunch of clones over here, but none of them are really painted. I primed a whole bunch of stuff so that just in case I finished a model, I could just grab a clone and do some details on them. Where's my Space Marine? This is the one I painted during the last 2 weeks streams. I only really stream on Wednesday. I'm not able to stream like every day or several times a week or anything. But I finished this guy up in 2 sessions over the last 2 Wednesdays. And he was a lot of fun. MiniShini had a lot of input for colors. I really like how the slime on his dagger came out. I really like how these little tentacle things down here came out. They were really fun. I like the just tiny bit of orange highlights on his gun. I like the kind of teal colors for the Tyranid armor bits that are on him. And I decided to make him a salamander. I'd never painted a salamander before, so I thought I enjoyed it. I like this guy a lot. I'm really happy with how he came out. I don't think I have any Black Templars within reach. Oh yeah, and skirmish style games. I have kind of gotten into a lot of skirmish games. Legion's not really a skirmish game. It's a little bit of a bigger game. But there are some rules for... I'm going to get some fur brown for some of the leather so I can start doing some highlights there. But it has like they added a new narrative mode called... I am completely blanking on the word. Tours of Duty. They added a Tours of Duty mode to Star Wars Legion, and you start at like a 600 point army instead of a full size. It's like a slightly over half size army. Maybe kind of like Spearhead or Combat Patrol for Age of Sigmar and 40k. I still feel like it's bigger than that though, but you don't have like a giant army, you only have like a little bit. And you build up into a larger army if you want to. You don't have to, I guess, but I really like that mode. I thought it was kind of neat because you don't use like the big named characters. Like you bring your own custom commanders and stuff. And I like that. Flashpoint is a lot of fun in my opinion. I like it. I want to get some more of the sets. I only have the starter set, so I have like the base Spartans and I have the, I say the base set, but I have the I think it was like the legendary box when it first released. To kind of hit these little raised bits. But yeah, so I have some of like the elites, and I have the Spartans that came in that initial starter set for the Halo Flashpoint, and I do like that. I do like the rules for that quite a bit. It felt very quick. I also play a lot of solo and co-op games. I started playing games like 5 Parsecs from Home, which is a miniatures agnostic game. Like they kind of recommend a lot of like the miniatures from like Stargrave and stuff, but really you can use pretty much anything you want. And so a lot of times I'll use like some of my Star Wars Legion minis for it. But I really enjoy 5 Parsecs from Home quite a bit. Oh man, what do I want to highlight this Mornfang? That's what it was, right? Mornfang Brown? Yeah. What do I want to highlight that? I don't know if I really have a good color for that. Had a buddy talk you into 5 Parsecs. I enjoy it. Some of the campaign can be kind of complicated. Like there's all the steps in between like your campaign turns and stuff. And that can get a little tedious. I found like a tracker online that I was using that was really handy. I do also have some YouTube videos of 5 Parsecs. I think I only got a few episodes in, and then I realized it was really difficult recording like battle reports and stuff. I really want to get back into it, but I do not have a great camera setup for that. I might add some highlights of yellow for the hair. Yes. I haven't started on that yet. I definitely can though. So the last color we used was lava orange. I think I might build up to some inner light. It's a nice bright orange. And then we potentially could even jump up to this demonic yellow. But honestly, that's not that much brighter. It's more yellow than... I don't know. I think we'll do the inner light. We'll see how that goes. But we don't want to do a ton of this. We really want to add less and less color as we go up in highlights. But yeah, I do have some YouTube videos of 5 Parsecs gameplay. I have some painting tutorials. I try to release videos as often as I can. I'm not very fast at editing. Thank you, Necrotomb. I appreciate that. I mean, when I'm doing a painting video, it potentially might take me a few hours to paint it, and then editing, even watching it on like a quick speed to try to trim that down or something, it takes a while just to get that trimmed down into good clips. And I am definitely not like a pro editor by any means. I enjoy the process, but I'm still pretty slow at it. So I've been kind of trying to kick it into a faster gear recently, and I have been releasing about 1, maybe 2 videos a month if I'm lucky. And sorry, I had that a little bit too far down. I'm really trying to aim for that, like at least 2 videos a month type thing. Mini paintings giving you Mistborn feelings. You know what? This could remind me of Mistborn a little bit, honestly. Yeah, we don't want to do too much of this brighter yellow. This is a lot of yellow, but we don't want to add too much because then it'll just start looking yellow. But if we leave it right about there, maybe do ever so slightly more in a couple places, like this little front bang that's sticking out here could use a little bit. And maybe a tiny dab. Might be done too much down there, but that's okay. It's one of those happy little accidents. Anthony Swisher, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. I got a hair on there. Just a little bit of yellow there. A little bit up here. There we go. I think the hair reminds me of fire, and that's what I was going for. I wanted it to be a kind of yellowy orange. I wanted it to be kind of an unnatural, you know, not just a redhead. I wanted something kind of unique. Does Buckman's glow? That looks like too much of a change in color, in my opinion. Just sub to the YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, Necrotomb. I appreciate that. Trying to figure out. I don't know. Like, I feel like I could add a little bit of highlights maybe to the, like, the pouch here and the trench coat right there. But I feel like that, I don't know. I feel like the Bugman's glow is too bright. Like, it's more of like a tan. Man, I wonder if this was bottled in 2011. This one says 2013 on it. Right here. These might be some old paints. Oh, this also, is this a date here? February 7th, 2019. That's probably when it was bottled. So this is still like a 7-year-old paint bottle. Assuming that's what that was. Well, no, because this is 3004. Oh, actually, they're probably using, you know, the right dating system. This is probably July 2nd, 2019. And this is probably April 30th, 2019. That makes sense. But yeah, I think this is, I don't know. I don't think this is a good highlight for this Mornfang. I don't even know where I got these colors. I think one of my friends decided he bought like a whole bunch of 40k orcs, and he bought a paint set, he bought wet palette, he bought magnets and like drills and everything. And he painted like 2 or 3 orcs, and then he was like, I hate this part of the hobby. He was like, I don't want to paint, I don't want to build models, I just want to play the game. And he decided it just wasn't for him. And he gave me a whole bunch of his extra stuff. So I think I got those paints from him. Hank is kicking like crazy. That sounds like Hank. No problem at all. Creators supporting creators and all that. Of course, of course. Do you also, I know you said you're a creator, do you also make videos? Do you make painting videos? I would love to check them out at some point. I also really haven't painted anything on the hilt. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I don't think I'm going to get very much further tonight. I have to go pick up my grandson from school. Appreciate your help. Hopefully catch you on the next one. Thank you so much, Peter. Have a good one. Good luck picking up your grandson and everything. Thank you for hanging out with us. And hopefully we'll see you next time. I do stream on Wednesdays. Basically the same time. It's 9 p.m. here for me. So I guess it was around noon for you whenever it started in Australia. But again, thank you for stopping by. You're always welcome back. And feel free to ask any questions you want in the future as well. I might try to bump up the highlights one more shade on this cloak, because I am really loving that cloak. But I don't think I'm going to get much further than this. Working on your first one, actually. I used to just stream, trying to do both now. See, I have been... This is one of my early streams on this channel. Not necessarily on Twitch. It splattered. I got a lot of paint. I only needed a tiny bit. It's all over my table too. Yay! There's not really an easy way to clean that up either. Oh well. But yeah, like I said, I used to stream like gaming content and stuff, and it never went nearly as well as like the mini painting stuff did. And like I said earlier, I really enjoy the mini painting stuff a lot more. This is a lot more fun in my opinion, and this is a lot more interactive and stuff. And editing is a whole beast on its own that I still struggle with. I have a separate gaming channel that I had like one video explode years and years ago, and I could never figure out how to like recreate that, like how good it did. And I kind of had the same thing happen on the painting channel. I have one video about washes that has like 56,000 views, something like that. And most of my videos on my YouTube channel have more like a few hundred to maybe a couple of thousand views. But that one video just took off and has done exceptionally well. And I think more than half of my subscribers for my whole YouTube channel are all from that one video, which is just absolutely insane to me. Mini painting streams are just nice. I get so much done while watching another creator. Best of both worlds. Definitely, for sure. It is, in my opinion, a fairly relaxing event. Like, even if you're not painting, sometimes it's just nice to just sit back and watch someone else create. Sometimes when I'm watching somebody else, you know, they might do something or pick a color combination that like I didn't think about, and I'm like, oh, I really like how that looks, and then maybe I want to go back and try it later. That is like some super highlights now. That edge is a little... There we go. The highlight there was just... The edge of that was a little rough. I wanted to smooth that out just a hair. That video took off faster than a toddler with something they're not supposed to have. That is a fantastic way of putting that. That's basically exactly what happened to that video. And it's just about washes. It's like a 6-minute video titled like the biggest mistake beginners make with washes. And what I explained in the video, like I didn't use any washes on this mini, but in the video I'm painting a snowtrooper for Star Wars Legion, and I kind of showed off that, you know, snowtroopers don't have pure white armor like a lot of times stormtroopers do. Like when you see a stormtrooper like on the Death Star or something, their armor is like really glossy, shiny white. But the snowtroopers, a good chunk of their armor is actually covered in cloth, and their cloth is actually a little bit of an off-white, kind of a cream color in some instances. And when you're using a wash, and in the example, in the video, I used some Army Painter soft tone wash. I think I actually used the old version. They called it a quick shade back then, but I think I used this old soft tone instead of the new one, because the video was made a few years ago. But I basically coated the entire model, the whole snowtrooper. I coated him in that wash, and then the trick, the secret, the whole shebang is, after you wash it, you're not done. Go back and add your highlights back in. Take your base color, like in my case it was white because it's a snowtrooper, and I went back in and I painted back over the top on all those like raised areas, on all the upper surfaces, and any of those hard edges. I did a little bit of edge highlighting with the white and stuff like that. I painted in the details. He has like a little red light on his, I think on his backpack, maybe one on his chest piece. But I just went back in and added those details, and that's the video. It's nothing super crazy, but a lot of people, when they're washing, and whenever I first started, I would paint the mini and then basically slather it in a wash, and I was like, yeah, this added so many details, I'm done. And a wash adds a lot of shading into the recesses and stuff, but it also really like tints your model, and it shades the whole thing. And it took me a long time before I realized, hey, you can add the highlights back in. Like these highlights, this adds a ton of contrast to that. Like that, these are kind of rough, but I love how this cape looks. These are such cool color, in my opinion. Like I really like this cape, and they're kind of rough. These are not perfect. There's some rough edges here and there. I didn't do an amazing job, you know, glazing the edges and like getting it to these perfect blends. I didn't do any wet blending or anything like that. But adding these highlights added so much contrast to that. And when you add a wash, everything gets tinted a little bit, everything gets darkened, and that's fine. It seeps into all those recesses and adds a ton of detail. But your whole thing, the contrast kind of crunches back down a little bit because your highlights have darkened because they've been tinted with the wash. So going back and adding those highlights separate, it adds so much. And so that's what the video's about. But yeah, it jumped up to 150 something thousand views. And it's still going. It still gets views here and there. It's crazy. I don't know what I did so well on that one. I can't figure it out. I keep trying to, I'm like, how do I make another video that does like that? And I can't figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not that good at YouTube yet. So I'm just trying to make more videos, trying to get better at it. I think I am probably gonna need to call it quits for tonight here pretty soon. It is gonna add a little bit of highlights to the sword here, but it is 11:40 here. in the central time zone, and I unfortunately have work in the morning, and so I need to get off of here. And then we also need to get MiniShini into bed, because it is kind of late. So this is about as far as I think we're going to get this miniature this week. I'm really excited about the progress. I think, yeah, MiniShini is way past her bedtime. I think I'm going to need to look into my browns and see what I can find. Maybe even buy another brown to find another highlight for this brown here, like for the pouch and for the jacket she has. I want another highlight in there. And then I might want to add, I have some little grass tufts. I could add some of those to her base just to give it a little bit more detail, so it's not just a plain rock. But overall, I'm really happy with how this mini has turned out. It's not perfect, it's not done, but it's a good chunk of the way there. I'm pretty happy with this mini so far. We will probably end up finishing this one next week, and then maybe start on something else after that. If we finish this one and I don't have a new mini picked out to start, I'll probably, like I pulled out some clone troopers earlier, I will probably just grab some of those and get to work on them. Let me switch to my zoomed out view here, so you can see my messy desk. Man, that was my last highlight color I did, and it sprayed over here, it sprayed on the desk, like you can see a little bit of it right there. Man, I hate it when that happens. But yeah, that was the stream. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Got a lot done, learned a lot of new stuff. Man, appreciate, looking forward to coming back. Thank you so much, Necrotomb. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you got to hang out. I really want to give a huge shout out. Let me scroll back up here so I don't make a mistake on his name. But a huge shout out to Miniature Graveyard, who stopped by. I actually am going to pull up his channel so that I can take a look at it later. A huge shout out to Miniature Graveyard for raiding the channel with man, I think it was like 20 something viewers, which was huge. That was greatly appreciated. That was a huge thing for me. You know what? I'm going to switch over to the webcam view so you can actually see me in. You don't need to see the table, the messy table. You can see the messy room behind me instead. But yeah, huge shout out to Miniature Graveyard for raiding with all the viewers, and to everyone, including Necrotomb, who stayed with it and hung out and chatted with us. I know we have a few viewers who are just hanging out there. Perfectly fine. You don't have to chat if you don't want to. MiniShini, don't worry, I won't forget Luna. She's worried she has a dragon toy that's over here, and she doesn't want me to forget bringing it up before she goes to bed. But yeah, I need to get off of here. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. I stream every Wednesday around the same time. So yeah, welcome to come back, and one last time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.